What's going on, everybody? C4 here. Welcome back to the channel, and today we are here for another Madden 20 realistic rebuild, moving to the NFC. We're getting pretty close to finishing up all 32 teams, but moving on to the NFC, I'm going to do the 49ers. You'd think the team that was just, they didn't really feel like they showed up to the Super Bowl. It was not an impressive performance, but a team that made the Super Bowl would not be a sooner than later rebuild team. But what we've noticed here, especially in Madden 20, is that the better team you are, it almost feels like the harder the rebuild's going to be. Because when you're rebuilding a team that is clearly in a rebuild, you usually have a lot of salary cap to work with. You have good draft assets, good young players. But it's when you take on these older teams that don't have a lot of salary cap, like the Eagles. Eagles, really, really tough to rebuild. The Rams, really, really tough to rebuild. Like, those are two pretty solid teams in the NFC. And I think, anyways, that this Niners rebuild is also going to have that challenge in it. So looking at our squad here, we're going to be starting from the conclusion of the 2020 draft. I actually was going to go before it, but because of all the trades and stuff that had DeForest Buckner and all the picks, I was like, we might as well just keep it as is here. So here's how our squad is looking like right now. At quarterback, we have Jimmy Garoppolo. He's, yeah, it is what it is. I'm not going to turn this into a let's trash Jimmy Garoppolo. I have in my take that for Jimmy Garoppolo for $100 million, or Nick Mullins, who we saw, be maybe above average when he played 2 years ago. If you told me that Nick Mullins was the starting quarterback for the 49ers last year with that team, with that game plan, I'm going to say maybe 1 or 2 losses could have been the difference. And then, versus the salary, it is what it is. They have Jimmy Garoppolo as their starting quarterback. He's a solid quarterback. Is he worth the contract? Probably not. But he's not a bad quarterback. He usually won't put them in a hole. And there is some positives to that. It's like one of those things that Jimmy Garoppolo was not on the type of deal that he was. If he was on a more reasonable deal, like, I don't know at the top of the head what the numbers are, but people probably scream with there. But let's just say he's a $100 million quarterback. So then the contract look like that. If he was, say, $50, $60 million quarterback, I think more people would be like, yeah, he does hand the ball off a lot. It's kind of the scheme, and it's a reasonable deal. But either way, for this rebuild, definitely something to monitor as we go on is going to be the contract of Jimmy Garoppolo and his performance. At running back, they have probably the best running back stable in the National Football League. We had Tevin Coleman here, 82 star. We got Raheem Mostert, 82 star. We got Jerick McKinnon. People forget he's on the roster. If he comes back healthy, man, he's a really solid receiving back. They got JaMychal Hasty out of Baylor in the draft. I think that's also a really nice fit for that room. I'm going to go Mostert as the star. I don't think really there's that much difference. Obviously, there's an age difference, but Coleman's on a 1 year. I think they got Mostert locked up longer. And as a former Philadelphia Eagle, I love Mostert in the preseason. He was here during the Chip Kelly years. I swear to God, I don't know if it's the exact numbers. I felt like he had like 2 kickoff returns for touchdowns, something like that, in the preseason. And then he still ended up getting cut. And I think he was more of a wide receiver. He was like a gadget player, a true gadget player when he was with the Eagles. He played running back, a little bit of wide receiver. Either way, he's going to be my starter. We got Juszczyk, who's getting up there in age a little bit, but still probably the best fullback in the National Football League. Wide receiver, we got Deebo Samuel, 80 star, entering his second season. He was a great player, dominated the Senior Bowl. Really, injuries was the only concern. I think he just picked up a broken foot, but he shouldn't miss any time or very little time of the upcoming season. I think that was always a great pick for the 49ers. Pettis was a pick that I did not like. They got him in like the second round. He was coming out of Washington as a project receiver, more of a return man, and you're kind of seeing that. He's struggling to get a lot of snaps. He's struggling to make the most of his snaps. But from a Madden standpoint, he's 24-77 star. There's a chance. There's an absolute chance that we could develop him into something. They got Kendrick Bourne here, another solid wide receiver, 75. There's no depth trait, but he's only 24. Trent Taylor, slot guy. They got Brandon Ayuk in the first round. We're going to have to find a way to get him on the field because he does have that hidden dev. I don't know what it is. It's probably a star. But I do think I want Deebo and Ayuk to be our 2 outside perimeter type guys. And then the slot will be, Bourne and Pettis kind of battling it out. But, even Jalen Hurd's a project type player. We could even consider moving him. I don't know what happens if his rating to when you move him to tight end. Because I think Jalen Hurd in this offense, honestly, he could be the guy long-term that replaces Juszczyk. But he can be our tight end 2 right now. That's way better than being literally wide receiver 20. Hell, Richie James is like their last guy, and he was really, really good in college. It's another slot guy. So, really, really healthy room. I'm going to try to we're going to get rid of Travis Benjamin to free up some salary cap here. But, again, much like the running backs, a whole lot of depth here for the 49ers. Tight end, George Kittle's best tight end in football. 97 superstar X Factor. He's beast. He's one of those guys that I don't think he's kind of like J.J. Watt. I don't think there's anyone that doesn't like George Kittle. So that's pretty good. And then there we go. We just moved Jalen Hurd there. Offensive line, they got Trent Williams. That is a huge get. Joe Staley's out with the retirement, so you just get another guy that's, when he's healthy and if he can return to form, top 5 tackle in the National Football League. Even though he is 32, still solid, and we're going to be able to run him into the ground, so it kind of puts a hold on us having to draft a tackle, especially in the first draft. Tomlinson, solid guard. We got Richburg, solid center, but he is 29. Not much here going at right guard. I don't know if there's going to be someone in free agency I can pick up, or can I shuffle anyone? They have no depth. They have depth at every position outside of the offensive line. Mike McGlinchey at right tackle is really solid as well. O-line in general, happy with the O-line. Even though Mike McGlinchey's probably the only guy that's going to be here long-term. Defensively, they got Nick Bosa, emerging superstar, 87 superstar X Factor, rightfully so. We have Jabal Sheard here. I actually don't know if they signed him or that was the computer that signed him. But Nick Bosa for sure. Now we got D Ford, who's 29 superstar, 85. Now the age, a little bit of a concern there. Not really a long-term option. And that contract's not ideal. So much like Jimmy Garoppolo, I think on the defensive side, D Ford's going to be that guy we want to monitor and see when can we get out of his contract, or does his contract live up to the production that he's going to be giving us. D tackle, we got Eric Armstead, who's an 88. We got Javon Kinlaw, who's a 76. Solomon Thomas, I'm going to throw some guys up here on the trade block. We'll put Solomon Thomas. I think we should also go up here and put Kendrick Bourne on the trade block just to see what kind of value that we can be getting. But I think, they obviously, Kinlaw, first-round draft pick, beast. I was talking about it during the draft process, and I think in terms of ceiling, it was really Javon Kinlaw versus Derek Brown. I think Derek Brown, much safer option, but in terms of ceiling, I think you have a very high ceiling here with Javon Kinlaw. So, yeah, we're going to try to grow him and Eric Armstead. Linebacker core is really solid across the board for the starters. Quan Alexander, very good modern-day linebacker. I thought he was always consistently underrated when he was with Tampa, and if he could stay healthy, he's a good, even though he's a little bit expensive, he's a really solid linebacker. You get Fred Warner, who's an 86 superstar, only 23. He's a guy that constantly is in the conversation in the Madden Center to be Defensive Player of the Year, so that's going to be huge for this defense. And then we got Dre Greenlaw, 2374 star dev, was one of the more unsung heroes on that 49ers team last year in real life that went on that Super Bowl run. I think he's got, really across the board. I mean, Alexander is 26, but I think these three guys are going to be linebackers for quite some time. Moving to the secondary, we got Richard Sherman, who is 32, but he still is one of the best corners in the National Football League. Definitely going to be one of these players, much like Trent Williams, that regardless of age, we're probably just going to run them in the ground. They're never going to regress to be a bad player. Outside of that, though, definitely some work here for the Niners. We got Jason Barret. Luckily, injuries are off from a Madden standpoint. He's a good Band-Aid, 77 star at 28, but we need a long-term corner here. Witherspoon, 76. He's 25. There's no Dev. Williams is old. Mosley's a guy that we've had some luck. I remember there was a couple rebuilds ago. We got him up to a superstar. However, I mean, that it's against the odds because he's 24, no Dev, 73. Generally speaking, this is position we're going to be going right away. I think it's going to be maybe a little bit of the O-line and mostly the secondary in terms of where we're going to be spending our top draft assets. We got Jimmy Ward at safety, 82. He's solid, but he's also 29, so not that much of a long-term option. At strong safety, Jaquiski Tart, 28, 81 with a star dev. Solid, but again, we probably have 2-3 years out of him before we start getting a little iffy on the contract. Special teams is solid for the Niners. So from top to bottom, lots of depth in some positions. Secondary's a little worrisome, but hopefully Richard Sherman can control that group until we can have a free agency and a draft that we can kind of go all in. It's going to be very interesting to see where the salary cap is for the 49ers. Once it comes that midway point, we can start throwing out some offers there. But generally speaking, I do think we have what it takes here in this rebuild over the next 10 seasons to find a way to win a Super Bowl, if not multiple ones. So let's get into it. And look at these offers. We're getting ones. We are getting ones. Future ones for Solomon Thomas. Colts, Cardinals, Denver's giving a 1 and a 4, a 1, 4, and a 5 from the Bears. Okay, who's gonna be the? I'm not taking a 1. I'll take this Bears one. Thank you, Chicago. Midway point, I'll tell you right now, that draft pick that we got, that first round for solid top, it's weighing on. I think I'm going to trade it away. I'm going to try and trade it away. I feel guilty. It's a realistic rebuild. How am I going to flip? I mean, Solomon Thomas probably third rounder. That's what you could gain for him, not a first. So I'm going to see if I can find a way. Maybe next season. You know, it's a future first round pick. I'm going to see if I can flip that for at least a player. I think I can try to add a corner or something like that. So yeah, it's been weighing on my conscience. But we're 6-4. It's not a bad spot to be, tied for first in the NFC West. Looking at our contest, first up, George Kittle, whatever you want. Richard Sherman, pretty much whatever you want. Oh, that's a lot though. 17 mil. Trent Williams, what's a 3-year deal? At least we got him locked up. Use check. I mean, it's so hard paying a fullback that amount of money, but when you're the best fullback, and he's bending us over. Oh. I mean, Tart, we can 4 years. I'm not looking for 4 years at 28. I think. Jesus. Because we got to pick a two. We can't just re-sign everyone. Bourne wants $4 million a year. What's yours? 3? 5, 26. Oh, my God. It's one of those things, man. Like, what are we saving our money for? Free agency's always ass. We'll re-sign Kittle, Sherman, and Juszczyk, and then we'll wait and see till the end of the year. I was able to ditch the pick. We got Blesson Austin. He's entering his sophomore year. He's 23, 74 overall. It's just a solid corner with more upside than any other corner on our roster. The lights are off at the end of year one, where we were 10-6. Made the playoffs. Got out to run the gauntlet, but we made the playoffs, and we got our first divisional title of the rebuild. Always great kicking off a rebuild with one of those. Dev traits, we had a couple. Brandon Ayuk. How did he not hit it? Played 84 snaps. That's disgusting. I think that was actually the only guy that had a hit in dev, which it was. We had no one that went up a dev trait, which is a little annoying. Look at the stats here. Jimmy Garoppolo played very well, like a top 10 quarterback. 4,000 passing yards, 34 touchdowns to 12 interceptions. I actually can't really remember the last time we had a bad, like year one sim quarterback. It's been a while. I don't know if that's just some juice that we get year one, and then things start to level out, but I mean, he's probably going to be in the MVP shortlist of the top 10 names. Mostert went for 1,100 yards, 9 touchdowns. I like seeing that. Really did not have the committee that you expect that the Niners might have had. Kittle, huge. 75 catches, 1,100 yards, 10 tutties. Over 1,000 yards for Deebo Samuel as well, 7 touchdowns. 650 and 2 for Pettis. 8 for Trent Taylor working out of the slot. Jalen Hurd had 5 touchdowns as a backup tight end. Really, everyone did something except Ayuk. 80, he had... He had a 78-yard touchdown, and that's pretty much it. But obviously, with some of the shuffling that's going to be going on at wide receiver, he should get more snaps in year 2. Fred Warner, tackle machine. Quan Alexander, tackle machine. Sacks are not where... What? 3 sacks, Nick Bosa? That is disgusting. Broken game. Tyrod had 4 picks, and of course he had 4 picks. We didn't extend a contract. 3 for Austin, though. I'd have to imagine how many of those came with us versus when we traded and acquired him from the Jets. But I'm going to act like he got all 3 with us, and it's a very good trade. Essentially, Austin for Solomon Thomas. Look at the yearly awards. MVP went to Russell Wilson. And Jimmy Garoppolo right there at number 10 in the MVP shortlist. So that's, a good start to the career for him. The rebuild, anyways. NFC, Garoppolo coming in at 4. Defense Play of the Year. Quan Alexander at 8 for the other awards. I don't think we're going to have really anybody except kicker Robbie Gould. Good as Gould. Beautiful. So, yeah, we got the gauntlet here. I mean, Aaron Rodgers, Jimmy Garoppolo, let's do it. Winner gets Danica Patrick. All right, let's do this. Niners, Packers. I don't really know who'd have the edge here, honestly. If I'm thinking about real life, I would say 49ers are probably the more well-rounded team. But I think in terms of explosiveness, maybe being able to get after the passer. I mean, I don't know what is going on with Nick Bosa. Like, I would argue, out of all the shocking stats we've seen in this realistic rebuild series, Nick Bosa getting 3 sacks, probably up there. But we're tied at 20 apiece here in the fourth quarter. Could be anyone's game. What team wants it the most? We're going down the field. We actually get the ball back after we somehow drive ended. Beautiful. We get a touchdown. Go-ahead touchdown. We had to defend for 2 minutes. Couldn't do it. So we're going to overtime. And we've had a crack at it, but a field goal wins it for us. There we go. Hits a nice field goal. Makes up for Nick Bosa having 3 sacks. And we're moving on. Okay, in the divisional round, we have the shockingly Detroit Lions. Maybe not shockingly. Matt Stafford is underrated, I think. I think I could argue to say Matt Stafford's underrated. It's just more so the Lions. I don't know. I feel like Matt Patricia's not going to be the guy. You got duped by getting the Belichick tree. Things are not going to work. His culture seems kind of shady, say the least. But either way, they're kind of working us right now. I don't know why we're throwing shade at the Detroit Lions. They are absolutely working us. We were able to get a touchdown there on 4th down. Quick turnaround here. Ooh. All right, we're down 7. We have a chance. We absolutely have a chance. Ball in Jimmy Garoppolo's hands. We went for it on 4th down. Didn't get it. We had a chance, though. And Jimmy Garoppolo could not seal the deal. They stopped the run. Mostert couldn't get anything going. Full kudos to Detroit, man. We get bounced in the divisional round here in year 1, but I guess it could be worse. At least we made the playoffs. So for free agency, I kind of botched it, but I think I'm going to be ahead. Richard Sherman didn't want to resign, so I was just going to franchise tag him. And I think I'm getting a cheaper deal here by letting him hit free agency. The first 2 offers are really bad, so we're going to come in with a 1-year 15. I think the initial one was 1 and 17 that he declined. So, yeah, that'd be pretty good. And then I'm looking at Marcus Williams here at free safety, 24. I mean, he's a guy that's common free agent. He's usually one of the better guys. I don't think I've ever signed him. So, I mean, we're going to try to make a competitive offer here to bring him in, and he'll be our starter at free safety. So, spending a lot of money trying to secure the secondary, at least for next year. All right, well, I mean, at least, we got Sherman back. I like Mostert. Was not prepared for, like, a 5-point regression. So, I mean, there's names here. Kamara, Aaron Jones. This is more so me just, we've signed Kamara before. Going on the side of, let's try something different. Let's get Kareem Hunt. So a recap of our very first draft. At strong safety, we had to replace Jaquiski Tartt. We got Hamza Nasir-Dean from Florida, 73. Hidden Dev, 6'4", 215. Exactly what we're kind of looking at, a modern-day linebacker safety hybrid. Put that guy in the box. Second round, we got interior. I'm going to really view him as an interior lineman. Josh Myers from Ohio State, 70. Hidden Dev. Probably going to flex him out to guard, but anytime you get a lineman, especially when I'm using draft picks on linemen in my custom draft classes, you got to be hitting on the hidden dev guys, which is exactly what we did. We got Kerry Vincent Jr. from LSU, 68. We got Kellen Mond to come and be a backup. Journey Brown, somehow, one of the more hyped running backs in college football right now. He's in the 6th. It's like, hell yeah, I'll take him. 68 overall. And then we got Teron Jackson finishing out of Coastal Carolina. More so a scheme fit than it is a guy with a great overall. So we're back for year 2. Lights are still off. Shanahan does not want to be seen at this given time. We're opened up as an 86 overall with an 88 offense. I actually would have thought the defense would have been higher rated. Jimmy Garoppolo went up dev trade. He's now a star dev quarterback based upon his performance last year where he was very much playing like a top 10. We have Kareem Hunt as the new starter here, but I think a good 1-2 punch with him and Raheem Mostert. 3 star dev wide receivers. Solid. Just continue to build that. We move Myers from center to guard. Where the O-line, generally speaking, it's a very solid offensive line. I would argue, in terms of tackle duos, probably up there. Top 3, top 5 in the league. Kittle, very close to being a member of the 99 Club. Defensively, I mean, Nick Bosa has to do something. I need to see, double-digit sacks should almost be automatic in the sim for Nick Bosa. I want to see it. Really everywhere outside, like Nasruddin will be starting at strong safety. Everywhere outside of corner, I feel pretty good. And again, it's more so Sherman and everyone else. Austin, who we traded for, I want to see him, take his game to the next level. We still got Mosley on the team. One of these guys need to get a dev trade. One of these corners needs to hit a dev trade this season for me to be completely satisfied with the, the direction that my defense is going in the future. Also, would not hate to get Kareem Hunt back up to a superstar, get him back, I mean, he has the capabilities of being a superstar, if not a superstar X Factor. So I'd love to have that little bit of redemption here sprinkled in versus, he could have just signed the easier option in Alvin Kamara for a little bit more money. But I truly want to see if we can redeem Kareem Hunt here as well in year 2, 3, and onward for the 49ers rebuild. So coming out of the bye, 5-2. Really, really happy where we're at. Good position to get our second straight NFC West title to start off the rebuild here. Who's playing well? Garoppolo, 4th in yards, 3rd in tutties. What about my boy Kareem Hunt? Is he Kareem? Oh my God, 1st in yards, 1st in touchdowns. Beautiful. Everything firing all cylinders on offense. Now contract. So we got Richard Sherman, pretty much going to 1-year deal him to the ground, and he wants more money than his contract he's currently on, which is frustrating, but we'll try our best because we don't have any other options at our weakest position on the team. Fred Warner, 5-year deal. Whoa, I don't even have enough money to pay him. Oh! That's not good. I can deal with losing Dante Pettis. We're very close to being able to extend Fred Warner. I feel like we pull back our offer. I think we pull back our offer on Richard Sherman and we make sure we get Fred Warner and then risk, Sherman hitting the open market and getting him for cheaper yet again. And at the end of year 2, gauntlet yet again, 10-5-1. Luckily, the rest of the division kind of butt cheeks, so it's our second divisional title in only 2 years. Do we have hidden devs? I think we did have hidden devs. Myers came out star, which is pretty much expected on the defense. Nasruddin came out star as well. Okay, well, it's better than having 2 normal guys, I suppose. A lot of the stats here. Jimmy Garoppolo played well. 6th in yards and getting 30 touchdowns. Very acceptable numbers. 1,500 yards, 15 touchdowns from Kareem Hunt. We got 9 tutties from Mostert. One hell of a rushing attack, but Kareem Hunt paying immediate dividends. Would be nice to compare that to really Aaron Jones and Alvin Kamara. Those are the 2 other big running backs. We decided to go with Kareem Hunt. 1,100 yards, almost 1,200 yards, 8 touchdowns for Debo. 9-4 for Kittle. Really, I mean, even that's not a brutal year for a tight end. Definitely would have liked to see more touchdowns there. 750-5 from Ayuk. Kareem Hunt also chipping in 350-3. So, I mean, 18 touchdowns. Very nice. Very nice. Money well spent. Both linebackers getting a bunch of tackles as expected. 9 sacks, D4-7 for Bosa. I guess with the TFL special. Whoa. If you combine the TFLs across the board, that's a solid year. Sack numbers, not great. But hey, it's like Eagles, right? Philly has a great D-line. We don't get a lot of sacks, but we get a bunch of TFLs. And it's, TFLs is not as valuable as a sack, but it's pretty damn close. Nasruddin, 4 picks as a rookie. Unreal. We're getting that protection from Jaquiski Tart. With the number 1 offense in the National Football League. Defensively, top, unreal. Okay, but I do want to compare the running backs here really quickly, just to see if we made the right decision. I could see, Kamara. And there's Tannehill. We just did a Titans rebuild last, and he was unreal in that one. So let's see. Kareem Hunt, 15. Let's round up. 16-15. Alvin Kamara had 15-30. Okay, well, he had a great year. And, way down here. Aaron Jones didn't even break 1,000. So, hey, right decision. Right decision, I think, at the end of the day. Unless Kamara had, ridiculous receiving numbers, which I mean he could have. Yeah, really, I'm happy. I'm happy with the decision we made, going with Kareem Hunt. MVP's Tannehill. I'm not shocked after the rebuild that we did last time. Jimmy Garoppolo, number 10, firmly at that number 10 spot. I would have liked to see Kareem Hunt maybe make this list. In the NFC, Offensive Player of the Year went to Ezekiel Elliott. Kareem Hunt at number 3. Defensive Player of the Year went to Khalil Mack. Fred Warner at 7. Offensive Rookie of the Year, we had no one. Defensive Rookie of the Year, Nasruddin. Runner up to Monty Rice, middle linebacker on the Eagles. Quarterbacks, Dak. Running back, Zeke. Wide receivers, Deebo Samuel. So I'm hoping, based upon production, Kareem Hunt goes up to superstar and Deebo Samuel goes up to superstar. That'd be 2 huge upgrades on the offense here for the 49ers. But we're not going to find that out until, we still got 3-4 weeks to go. Hopefully we can run the gauntlet, still be in the playoff hunt when we find out the dev trade upgrades. But first, we need to handle business here against Dwayne Haskins and the 10-6 Washington Redskins. Okay, well, pretty much anytime you play Washington, you should be hoping you'll win. And let's just run the ball. Kareem Hunt, does his thing. 15 touchdowns, should get 3-4 tutties here. I'm going to expect Kareem Hunt to go over 100 yards. And look at that. We're pulling ahead here in the first half, up 10. Really, our defense doing a good job. No explosive plays, so that we can just turn this game to a grind. Like, that's the Niners offense. Control the clock. Nothing too crazy. Occasionally hit the deep ball, the Deebo Samuel. Let the defense do its thing. That's exactly how this game is playing out. And unfortunately, you had to run the gauntlet. You have a great year like that. You know, 2 divisional titles, but still 2 wild card appearances. Would be easier if we didn't have to worry about this extra game, but we're going to get rolling. Jimmy Garoppolo, outstanding. 370, 4 touchdowns, over 100 yards for Kareem Hunt. Niners are rolling through this playoffs with some momentum. In a battle of peak 90s NFC dominance in the divisional round, it is the Niners and the Dallas Cowboys. I wonder how many times they met in the championship game. Must have been a couple. More than once, I think. Yeah, it's going to be, the battle of the 2 best running backs in the division. Kareem Hunt and Ezekiel Elliott. What line is better? I think Dallas probably has a slight edge for the offensive line talent. But I think with at least how Jimmy Garoppolo has been playing in this sim, we have the advantage from the quarterback department, which is also very important. Defense, probably give a slight edge to the Niners as well. As you can see, only holding them to 10 points in the 4th quarter. Everything to play for. Let's just kill this drive off. Oh, no. Defense needs to stand. Oh, no. It's not looking good. And it's going to overtime, but we get the ball first, and we do nothing with it. We get the ball second, and we need a field goal, and we get it. 20-17, old school scoring. Both quarterbacks played average, almost 100 yards for Kareem Hunt. We did just enough. I think our defense was the difference on the day, and the Niners, here in year 2, go into the NFC Championship game. And in the championship game, it's Alvin Kamara and the Tampa Bay Bucks. 12-4 Bucks coming to town. I don't know if they still have Tom Brady or not. I wish I did, because then I would know how I'm supposed to feel about this game. But generally speaking, it's still, I think, a game that pound for pound, our roster has a slight edge. And it's very close. Bucks have a slim 3-point lead as we enter the second half. They get a touchdown there in the 3rd quarter. We go down the field to equalize, and they just keep maintaining that field goal, which is definitely something that we can work with. We're a touchdown away from having a 1-point lead. Let's go get that right here. Ladies and gentlemen, they had a turnover. Oof. Is Jameis Winston back there? I'm going to assume they don't have Tom Brady, because that was a very unclutched turnover. But then, touchdown, 2-point conversion at regulation. Oh, no. That's not good. And it's what? Jameis Winston's actually back. I was just guessing. And I'm having a brain fart that he would still be there. Wow. Okay. And he played pretty well. Played very accurate. That's very un-Jameis Winston of him. Well, there you go, man. That was a close championship game, but kudos to the Bucs, man. Ice in his veins. Jameis Winston able to get a tutty and 2-point conversion to end the game. And then they made the most of it. We had the ball first in overtime. Couldn't do anything with that. At the end of the day, no one to blame but yourself. Hear that, Saints fans? That blown call, and you still had the ball first in overtime, and you threw a pick. You still had a chance, and you didn't do anything with it. Very much similar to what we just had here with the Niners. Getting year 3. For free agency, we only have, barely just enough salary cap to breathe. We franchise tagged Sherman, so we have him here for 1 more year. Ooh. Oh, come on. Let's see if we can give him, let's see if we can lowball. I mean, that'd be a huge get, actually, for the O-line. All right. See if we can land him. I'll take it. Cool. We got Will. Probably not the smartest thing to do, given how tight against the salary cap, but I'm expecting we're not going to have Sherman probably on the roster next year. That's going to free up $17 million. We should be good. So that is a huge get for the offensive line, bringing in Will Hernandez, who still has some upside to go and do like a mid to high 80s. I'm trading out of the first round. I want to be, just transparent. We're going to trade our first round pick with the Bears to get a future first and a second and a 7th. Can you hear me? Can you hear it? My mic was away. There we go. I'm making a deal. This draft is awful. Awful draft. Recap time. Do you like 60s? Players in the 60s? Because if you do, I got some for you. We needed corners. I mean, it was just a horrible... Like, the reason why I traded out and got a future first. We got a 70... We got a 60. Like, no one's a bad player. If this was like a realistic draft class, like if this was real in Madden, it'd be a great draft class. That's probably the only way you could cut it. No real misses. I didn't need a fullback because we got Juszczyk, but we got a 67 hidden dev. He can just chill on the roster for the time being. Wish I could like move him to like tight end or something like that, but I don't know. They start getting into, like, I don't know, it's Delaney Walker, Jalen Samuels territory, just super undersized. I thought I had another hidden dev. Maybe I didn't. I thought for sure I had a couple. Maybe not. So, yeah, my only dev trade is a fullback, and we have the best fullback in the league still. But I guess if, salary does get tight, could maybe move on from Ustek. Year 3, trying to make it 3 for 3 for divisional titles, and we're still, one of the premier teams in the division. Looking at how everything kind of played out. In terms of dev traits, Kareem Hunt went up, rightfully so, to a superstar, and Deebo Samuel up to a superstar, so I'm happy with that. O-line remains essentially the same, outside of Will Hernandez, who we brought in via free agency, new member of the 99 Club here in George Kittle. Defensively, still a work in progress. D Ford somehow, he went up to a superstar X Factor. He had I don't even know how he did that. Regressed 42, but still, makes no sense. I think Warner going up to a superstar as well. So we had a bunch of dev traits based off of last season, which is, there's a positive there. But we have some holes. Secondary still not really where we want it to be. Free safety, Tarvarius Moore, well, an exceptional athlete. Can he be able to put it all together from a technical standpoint? We're going to have to wait and see. So, yeah, hopefully our good players can kind of carry the guys that aren't so good, which I guess at the end of the day is the NFL, right? Really early buy here in year 3. Maybe too tough to get a big picture, but we're only a game back of the Seattle Seahawks. There's a positive, and we have a couple breakouts here. First, I think that's Brandon Ayuk. Trying to go from star to superstar. Best of luck to you in this sim. But and also Kareem Hunt trying to be X Factor. Okay. Need a big game from the... Let's sim it. We'll sim this first one, and then we'll look at contracts and all that stuff, as we always do. It's Dallas, so it's a really good... we're probably going to go 0 for 2 here. Oh, maybe not. We'll put up 35 points. There's a chance. All right. Didn't get it for Ayuk. Hey. Oh. Nope. 0-2. But we got a win, which is important. We can upgrade some of our players, which is also kind of important. But contracts here at the midway point. Yeah. Oof. This is going to be expensive. Well, we should have a lot of money to be working with. How do we prioritize this? I think McGlinchey gets top priority. Asshole. Jimmy Garoppolo's played very well. Asshole. Debo has been very good. Asshole. Quan. Asshole. Dre Greenlaw. I like you. I knew I liked you. Probably could do better. What's the hit? The cap it. Oh, no. Way too much money for a guy that's not doing a whole lot of nothing. So, McGlinchey, Garoppolo, and Debo, top priority. Then maybe second tier, depending on how much money I have. We could look at Quan. Because generally speaking, free agency, as we've seen, we've done, 20 of these? It's way more realistic that you're retaining your own talent is going to be better than what's available on the open market. So we'll try and keep Quan as well on this roster. Oh, unreal. We were first place, and then week 17 we lost 21-7 to the Chargers, and somehow not in the playoffs. Went from having our 3rd divisional title to just shit in the bed. Also, Deebo Samuel wants to test free agency. Most likely we're going to franchise tag him. It's just your, the catch-up year. It was a bad draft, probably. There's just a lot of issues. Probably shouldn't have signed Will Hernandez so we had more money. Probably, we can't hold ourselves accountable for the draft, but it was a bad draft. It was just a bad offseason and a bad regular season. It's just, hopefully we can right the ship here. Jimmy Garoppolo still played very well. He got paid again, another $100 million contract, 3,700 yards, 33 touchdowns. 12-9 for Kareem Hunt, acceptable. No dominant year. Ayuk having 10 tutties is nice, but definitely need to find a way to retain Deebo Samuel. 86 superstar. Can't just let that walk out the building. Defensively, Fred and Quan getting some production there. 10.5 sacks Kinlaw, 10.5 Armstead, 7 for D. Nick Bosa, awful, man. What is this? That is that's so dumb. So dumb. Nasruddin's actually been unreal, though. I'm going to make him a team captain. Averaging 4 picks a year, baby. What a draft pick. Look at the yearly awards quickly. Josh Allen is your MVP. That just gives you an idea of the world that we're playing in right now. For individual awards, we had nobody because it's just a terrible year. Act like it never happened. Get that Men in Black, you know, a little pen, and we'll get into year 4. So looking at Debo, I didn't know this tag was going to be $20 million. I think we have to let him hit the open market and just hope to God we can bring him back. I just can't. $20 million for a team that's this tight against the salary cap. Like, how much money do we have available? We have like $12 million. Wait. So looking at our roster, I know he's an X factor, but I mean, for the betterment of the team, the future of the team, that's $16 million that we could spend in a whole lot of areas. So we're doing it. Let's spend some money here. We got Deebo Samuel, no other contending offers. We have Byron Murphy Jr. There's a couple that, you know, the Saints are competing. Let's try and help ourselves out here. We have some Coach XP. See if we can get some we already have DB free agency influence. So come on, make it happen. We already whiffed on Marcus Williams though in year 1. Didn't help. And come on, yes, Byron Murphy, and we stole him away from a divisional rival. Phenomenal. Excellent piece of business there in the offseason, Kyle Shanahan. Good God, we went from horrible draft to we literally could not strike gold in this draft. Here, so we had 2 first-round picks because we traded out last year. We need help in the secondary. Drastically. Byron Murphy, not enough. So at pick 5, we got Kareem Stevens out of A&M, 75 with a hidden dev scheme fit. He is 23. But I mean, almost scheme fit. I mean, as good as a first round pick as you can get. He was top 10 in true talent. Then we got the number 6 player in the draft, Telvin Baggs from Nevada, 77. Doesn't come with a dev trait, but with a high overall like that, I mean, he's gonna, you know, definitely, unless he's, you know, gets a dev trait sooner than later, still should be, you know, 84, 85 sooner than later. Then the second round, we need a free safety. We got Kevin Wayne out of Miami, 72 hidden dev. Then in the third round, we got Perry Lewis, 74 hidden dev wide receiver, 6'4", 226. Just, you know, very, very well rounded. Third round, we got Juwan McMillan, 70 hidden dev edge rusher. Not a scheme fit. Probably got to move him inside to defensive tackle, but I think he'll be coming along right around the time Eric Armstead starts to regress. So let's actually just make him a D tackle right now. I was actually kind of hoping he'd be. I didn't even pay attention when I drafted into his size. And then we got a 67 normal tackle. We got a 64 hidden dev corner, James Walton out of Purdue. Again, felt like every time we're making a pick, we were getting a hidden dev trade. We got a 68 guard, 65 punter with a hidden dev, as you can tell, 6'5". Just always special teams, just go with the tallest guy. And then we finish up with a 62 depth safety. But in terms of dev trade, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 dev trade players. Give me, I won't even be greedy. Give me 1 higher than a star dev, please. Year 4. Can't ask for any better for an offseason. We got both of our targets. We brought back Deebo. We got some hidden devs across the board from the draft. Optimism is high. Very high that we're not going to be, you know, this weird mint bottom dweller. The only play position I wasn't satisfied with D-end. We got Morgan Fox. Spent some time with the Rams, I believe. Just got him on a 1-year deal because he was a scheme fit. Other than that, I mean, man, the secondary overall, even you think losing Richard Sherman is like, oh, it's all doom and gloom. But we got Byron Murphy Jr. We have a 77 rookie, a 75 hidden dev rookie. We throw in another hidden dev. Again, we're just banking that between Wayne, McMillan, Stevens, at least on the defense, give me 1 superstar. And it would be nice if Lewis could also come with a nice dev trade. Midway point year 4, we're awful. We're awful. 1-6. Where did this come from? Still got 4th and touchdowns, Jimmy Garoppolo. I don't know. A breakout scenario here for Kareem Hunt, trying to get that X factor. It's probably like this 5th swing at it. Might not ever come for him here. Contracts. Easily, I mean, we can't let him walk, but easily, without a shadow, the most disappointing player we've had has been Nick Bosa. I would like to keep Kareem Hunt, keep that resurgence going. Kinlaw, Maybe give you somewhere like a 5-year. Ooh. It's pretty much Trent Williams or Ayuk. I feel like keeping Ayuk might be the better decision. Yeah, let's go with that. We'll make sure we can get Kareem Hunt, and we'll have to unfortunately let Trent Williams walk, but hopefully, I mean, he might retire anyways. Really, everything outside of our draft class was bad this year. I did just level up some players. There's some great news. So we had some hidden devs. One, Lewis is the superstar X Factor. Just that's awesome. I don't know his ability. I mean, whatever. I don't even play, so it's a sim. Hopefully, max security is great in the sim. So he had a dev trait. And then on the defense, our corner came out star. A little annoying given how much we kind of need stability at that position. Would have been great to have him be the X factor, but I'm not going to overly complain about it. And then Wayne as superstar. So, you know, we got 2 stars here in McMillan and Stevens, which is expected, but we got a superstar and a superstar X factor. I was only asking for one of those players to be something better than a star, and we got a couple. So there's the positive. The negative is we were not great. 7-9 is bang on average for year 4. Almost a 90 overall team. 7-9 is not good whatsoever. Looking at how they played, Garoppolo was average, above average, slightly above average. Kareem Hunt continues to be very good. 1,300 yards, 14 tutties. No dominant receiver. Defensively, Warner's tackle machine. Sacks are good. Kinlaw 13, 10 from finally Bosa did something. Like that should have been, bar none, his floor is double digits. Just give me 10 and 10. I won't complain again for the rest of this rebuild. Wayne had 4 picks. Nazruddin with 2. That's good. 2 young guys playing well together. We had the number 18 offense in the National Football League. Defensively, 4th. MVP Josh Allen again. That's his multiple MVPs he's won already. For these individual awards, we got Kevin Wayne, Defensive Rookie of the Year. Matt Stafford's in New Orleans. Okay. A little weird, but, you know, it's just weird times. Strange times. Happy with our draft class. We need another draft class like that. I'm going to be a very happy man here. Trying to gear up. Year 5, see if we can go on some form of playoff run for the end of the episode. And for our final free agent period, we're in the red. You know, we kind of kicked off this whole rebuild expecting that this was going to be the issue with the Niners, that they're a good starting team, which means their salary is going to be shot. We only need to free up $2 million. Unless there's like a huge, obvious, like there's not. Oh my God. I mean, this is going to be a scenario, which it's only $2 million, 2.5. We can just cut a lot of our depth and get in the green. How we get the number 1 player in the draft deserves a round of applause. Now, I'm embarrassed that we're getting ready for year 5 and we had a top 10 pick. But we got Braxton Gordon here, which means we can keep Mike McGlinchey at right tackle. There is our successor to Trent Williams. Unreal. After picking the number 1 player in true talent in the draft, the fallout was average. You know, in the second round, we get a 70 wideout, just adding more depth. We get a 68 linebacker. We got a 72 tackle. 66 tackle, whiffed on that one. We had no scouting, but big things expected for Braxton Gordon. And given the fact the last time we had a lot of hidden devs, we had some good ones. An X Factor and Superstar dev. Expectations are very high that he's going to be something better than a star. But even if he's not, still one hell of a player. Year 5, here is where we are. 88 overall, 88 offense, 89 defense. Superstar X Factor is now a brand new player in Kareem Hunt. Lewis, 81. Gordon will play. We'll actually move Gordon to right tackle, have McGlinchey at left tackle. Offensive line, very solid. I mean, this is an offense, should be the most prolific offense in the National Football League. Kittle, 99 club. It's looking good, man. Defensively, it's come together. Quan Alexander up to a superstar X Factor, which is good. I was really worried about giving him a contract extension, given his age. But boom, bada bing. Get up there with the dev. I'm going to move Armstead. Did he go up a dev trade as well? I feel like he was star. He did. He must have. Anyways, he's not really an ideal 4-3 defensive end, but he was when you start the game. He's a 4-3 end. So we're going to move him out there and go Kinlaw and McMillan in the inside. But the defense, this is definitely the strongest I think this defense has been. And it's the strongest the offense has been. So let's not be a bottom 10 team in the league. Please and thank you here in year 5. And at the midway point, 5-2. Very much where we want to be. The only kind of rough news is that the tackle is a star dev, but still one hell of a player. I mean, superstar dev. Not, if that'd be one position outside of special teams, you'd probably say O-line. I'd be okay with it. So contracts, 5-2. We are tops, just one game ahead of both the Cardinals and Seahawks. Contracts, we got Eric Armstead. This is the big guy right out the rip. 4-year deal. Now, we don't have a lot of money, so we kind of need to prioritize here. I think Myers is worth a new contract. Something like a 5-year deal. And after that, do we have enough money to re-sign Eric Armstead? He's 30. On one hand, I'll give him this offer. I'll give him this offer. If he doesn't want it, which is a little bit less than the Asun one, I'm not. No, thank you. No, thank you. We'll just pull back that deal and offer it to Will Hernandez instead. At the end of year 5, first round bye. Beautiful. Our 3rd divisional title in 5 years, which is kind of what I would expect. But the fact that we've had pretty much 0 playoff success has been worrying, to say the least. But we're a 91 overall team. How did we get to, are we the number 1 seed? Probably pretty close, number 1 and number 2 seed. Number 1 seed in the NFC. How did this happen? Well, Jimmy Garoppolo played average, middle of the park. Kareem Hunt was very good. Darrington Evans vultured 10 tutties away. Deebo Samuel, solid year. No dominant receiver. Kittle, I guess for a tight end, that's good. Defensively, is it a defense that got the job done? 14.5 sacks, Kinlaw, 8.5 McMillan. Why is Nick Bosa so bad? 6 offense, so I guess the running attack is really what helped that number out. Defensively, 14th, definitely underwhelming. How is Nick Bosa? It's so annoying. For MVP, we had nobody. Offensive Player of the Year, we had Kareem Hunt coming in at 9. Defensive Player of the Year, Quan at 10. And then does any 49er show up here? Kinlaw is the number 1 D lineman. Would love him to go up to an X Factor. He might with those sacks that he got last year. But not crazy numbers from an individual standpoint. It's been Kareem Hunt show on offense. Really, really glad that we brought him in when we did. Who knows if it'd be the same if we got Kamara. It probably would. But yeah, let's go. We kick things off here. Divisional round against an 8-8 Panthers team. Should be a nice win and should be able to coast our way to a championship appearance here in year 5. Okay, 8-8 Panthers. They got Trey Lance as their quarterback. We've seen the damage he can do. What team did we do? We did the Pittsburgh Steelers, so we got Trey Lance. We knew he was God. Absolute God. Probably the best rushing sim quarterback I've seen so far to date. They also got Christian McCaffrey. But anything they can do, we've been able to equalize. We've been up to the test until then. End of the first half, should have been able to get points here. But either way, we're tied up at 21 apiece. Come on, they're 8-8. Number 1 seed in the division. So we have a 3-point lead. They're going down the field. They're able to get a field goal tied up 31 apiece. We have 2:21. We're the last team to possess this ball, hopefully. Oh, my God. How did we miss? We, shanked a 48-yard field goal. Then they turned it over. Fred Warner with the pick. And then we're just going to... How? That was like a 30-yard field goal. An extra point. No. Is there any way I can see the log of what happened? What? I don't think I can. They don't show the miss. Unbelievable. It's unbelievable. We have our kicker's not brutal. Well, that's how this one ends. Part 1 of the 49ers Madden 20 realistic rebuild finished with 3 divisional titles, and I think we were every year we made the playoffs, 1 and done. Not a lot. Postseason success. No, we weren't 1 and done. We had 1 year there. We actually won a couple games. But for the most part, we've been very much underwhelming in the postseason. I don't know if that has anything to play with Kyle Shanahan's job security. Probably not. But it should. Jesus Christ, man. Like that last field goal to win the game in the fourth quarter, it started with a 3. The length and distance of that field goal started with a 3, and we missed it, which is completely unacceptable. I mean, that's the only fitting way to end this rebuild. Get rid of that piece of garbage, and hopefully things for the second half are going to be great. So we'll be back on Wednesday with part 2 of this 49ers realistic rebuild, so I hope you guys tune in for that one. If you enjoyed this episode, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button. Smash the like button if you enjoyed, and I'll catch you guys back here on the next one. Peace out.